keep feeding it with your attention. You wake up and give it your first thought. You walk through the day and give it your energy. You lie down at night and give it the silence of your mind. And then you wonder why you feel tired before the battle even begins. Listen carefully. Not everything that enters your life deserves a chair inside your heart. Not every voice deserves your answer. Not every memory deserves another meeting. Not every person who knocks on the door of your peace should be allowed to come in and rearrange the room. You say you want peace, but you keep holding the rope that burns your hands. You say you want freedom, but every day you return to the cage because the cage has become familiar. This is the uncomfortable truth. Many people do not stay attached because the thing is good for them. They stay attached because they are afraid of who they will become without it. A toxic friendship can become an identity. A painful memory can become a story you keep telling because you do not know how to live without being the wounded one. A draining habit can become a false comfort because it gives you something to blame. But the moment you stop blaming, you must start changing. That is why detachment is difficult. It removes your excuses. To detach does not mean to become cold. It means to become clear. Coldness says, I do not care about anything. Clarity says, I know what deserves my life. Coldness is a wall built from pain. Clarity is a gate guarded by wisdom. Do not confuse the two. The person who is truly detached is not empty. He is full, but he no longer spills himself into every hand that reaches for him. He can love without begging. He can serve without becoming a servant to chaos. He can listen without swallowing poison. He can walk away without hatred because he understands that hatred is only another chain. Look at your life with honesty. What drains you? Is it a person or is it your need to be chosen by that person? Is it your work or is it the belief that your worth depends on exhaustion? Is it your family or is it the old role you keep performing because you are afraid they will not understand your growth? Is it social media? Or is it the hunger to compare your behind the scenes with someone else's performance? If you do not name the drain correctly, you will fight the wrong enemy. Many people cut people off and still feel tired. Many people leave places and carry the same anxiety into a new room. Many people change the outside and keep worshipping the same inner fear. Detachment begins with precision. A man once carried a heavy bowl of water up a mountain. The bowl was not tied to him. Nobody forced him to carry it. But with each step he complained, "My arms hurt. My back hurts. This water is too heavy." A teacher said, "Then put it down." The man answered, "I cannot. I have carried it too far." This is how the mind becomes foolish. It thinks suffering becomes valuable because it has lasted a long time. But pain does not become wisdom just because you kept it for years. A burden does not become sacred because you refuse to release it. Sometimes the bravest thing you can say is, "I carried this long enough. You must understand this clearly. Attachment is not love. Attachment is fear wearing the mask of love. Love gives space. Attachment demands proof. Love is calm. Attachment is restless. Love wants the other person to grow. Attachment wants the other person to behave in a way that keeps your insecurity asleep. When you are attached, you do not see people as they are. You see them as medicine for your emptiness. Then every delay feels like rejection. Every silence feels like punishment. Every change feels like abandonment. You become a prisoner waiting for another person to unlock your breathing. Detach from needing people to understand you before you move forward. This is one of the biggest traps. You keep explaining your pain to people who benefit from misunderstanding it. You keep presenting evidence to people who already decided the verdict. You keep hoping that if you choose the perfect words, they will finally say, I see you. But some people do not want clarity. They want control. Some people do not want truth. They want access. Some people do not misunderstand you because your words are weak. They misunderstand you because your growth threatens the version of you they knew how to use. Stop begging for permission to become peaceful. Your life cannot wait until everyone agrees with your boundaries. The person drowning does not ask the river for approval before swimming to shore. He swims. If people call you selfish because you stopped at abandoning yourself, let them speak. Their discomfort is not your commandment. Your boundary is not an attack. It is a door. Those who respect you will knock. Those who only wanted control will call the door a wall. The first practice of detachment is to stop reacting immediately. The draining thing feeds on your instant response. A message appears and your nervous system jumps. A criticism comes and your mouth opens before your wisdom wakes up. Someone posts something and your mind begins building stories. This is not life. This is slavery to stimulus. Create a gap, breathe before answering, walk before deciding, sleep before confronting, silence before explaining. In that gap, you meet yourself again. Without the gap, you are just a puppet moving when someone pulls the string. You do not need to win every conversation. You do not need to correct every lie. You do not need to attend every argument you are invited to. Many battles are designed only to remove you from your center. A foolish person throws dirt and hopes you become dirty, trying to throw it back. But the mountain does not argue with the dust. It remains. Practice remaining. When someone tries to pull you into emotional noise, ask yourself, what will this cost my spirit? If the answer is peace, clarity, sleep, dignity, or focus, the price is too high. Detachment also requires mourning. Do not pretend that letting go does not hurt. Of course it hurts. You invested hope. You built an image. You imagined a future. You gave time, energy, loyalty, and pieces of your heart. When you release something that once mattered, the body feels it. But pain is not proof that you made the wrong choice. Pain is often the sound of the chain leaving the skin. The mind will say, go back, it was not that bad. The lonely part of you will edit the memories and show you only the warm scenes. Be careful. Nostalgia is a clever liar. It hides the cost and shows you the comfort. When you miss what drained you, do not ask, was there anything good? Of course there was something good. Even a cage can have sunlight through the bars. Ask a sharper question. Did this help me become whole? Or did it teach me to survive being broken? Did I feel peaceful? Or did I only feel relieved after fear passed? Did I grow? Or did I shrink to keep the connection alive? Your heart is kind, but kindness without discernment becomes self-betrayal. You can honor what was good without returning to what was harmful. Detach from the need to be constantly seen. This world trains you to perform your life instead of living it. People cannot eat a meal without showing it. They cannot help someone without announcing it. They cannot feel pain without turning it into a stage. Then they wonder why their spirit feels scattered. Every time you chase validation, you hand strangers a key to your mood. 1,000 likes cannot stabilize a person who has no inner root. Applause is sweet, but it is not nourishment. If you build your identity on attention, silence will feel like death. Do something sacred without posting it. Improve quietly, heal quietly, give quietly, train quietly. Let your results become louder than your announcements. The seed does not shout beneath the ground. It breaks in silence. It grows in darkness. It does not ask the world to clap for every inch of progress. One day it becomes a tree, and even then, it gives shade without demanding praise. Learn from the seed. The deepest transformation does not need witnesses. Detach from urgency. Most draining things create false emergencies. Answer now. Decide now. Prove yourself now. Defend yourself now. Come back now. Explain now. But wisdom does not grow in panic. A rushed mind becomes easy to control. When you slow down, many traps reveal themselves. The offer that looked urgent becomes manipulation. The insult that demanded response becomes childish noise. The craving that felt unbearable becomes a wave that passes. Time is a filter. Let things sit. What is real will remain. What is false will begin to smell. Your nervous system needs to learn that not every emotional wave is a command. You can feel fear and not obey it. You can feel anger and not become it. You can feel loneliness and not invite the wrong person back. You can feel desire and not destroy your discipline. This is maturity, not the absence of emotion, but the refusal to let emotion become the master. Sit with the feeling, name it, breathe through it, watch it change. Feelings are visitors. Do not make every visitor the owner of the house. Detach from your old identity. Many people say they want a new life, but they keep practicing the old self. They say, I am just an overthinker. I am always unlucky. I cannot say no. I love too much. I get attached easily. Be careful with the words after I am. You are writing instructions for your own prison. The mind repeats what you declare. You are not an overthinker by nature. You are a person who practiced fear until it became familiar. You are not weak at boundaries. You are a person who learned that love required self-abandonment. What was learned can be unlearned. What was practiced can be replaced. Begin with small acts of self-command. Do not check the phone for 10 minutes after waking. Do not answer a disrespectful message while your heart is hot. Do not say yes when your body is already saying no. Do not reopen the same conversation in your mind for the 50th time. These small victories look invisible, but they are not small. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you recover a piece of your authority. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you teach the mind who leads. The mind will resist. It will say, just one more look, one more message, one more explanation, one more chance, one more memory, one more complaint. This is how attachment negotiates. It does not ask for your whole life at once. It asks for a small opening, then widens it. You must become watchful, not tense. Watchful, like a guard at the temple gate. Calm eyes, firm posture, no hatred. But not every traveler enters. There are people who drain you, not because they are evil, but because they are unconscious. They live in storms and call the storm normal. They speak without reflection. They take without noticing. They complain without changing. They wound and then act surprised by blood. You may have compassion for them, but compassion does not require you to become their shelter. A person can be wounded and still be dangerous to your peace. A person can have a sad story and still be responsible for their behavior. Do not let pity drag you back into patterns that almost destroyed your clarity. Some of you are addicted to potential. This is one of the most painful attachments. You do not love what is in front of you. You love what you imagine it could become. You hold a person, a dream, a job, a friendship, and you say, but one day it might be different, maybe. But your life is happening now. Potential is not a place to live. It is a possibility to observe. If the present keeps cutting you while the future keeps promising flowers, open your eyes. Hope without evidence becomes self-harm. Do not keep paying today's peace for tomorrow's fantasy. Detachment is not quitting too early. It is recognizing when effort has become self-erasure. There is a difference between patience and waiting in a burning house. Patience has dignity. It has boundaries. It watches for growth. Waiting in a burning house only teaches you to tolerate smoke. Ask yourself, Am I being patient, or am I afraid to admit this is hurting me? Am I giving time, or am I wasting life? Am I loyal, or am I attached to the image of being loyal? Hard questions save years. Detach from the belief that suffering makes you noble. Some people wear exhaustion like a medal. They say, I do everything for everyone. Nobody appreciates me. I am always the strong one. But sometimes what you call strength is fear of disappointing people. Sometimes what you call sacrifice is addiction to being needed. Sometimes what you call loyalty is refusal to face emptiness. Real strength is not carrying everyone until you collapse. Real strength is knowing what is yours to carry and what belongs in someone else's hands. If you always rescue people from the consequences of their actions, you train them to remain careless, and you train yourself to remain drained. Let people meet the weight of their choices. This is not cruelty. This is respect for their path. You cannot awaken for another person. You cannot digest food for another person. You cannot breathe for another person. So why do you think you can learn their lessons for them? Help when help is clean. Step back when help becomes a chain. Detach from resentment. Many people leave physically but stay mentally connected through anger. They say, I am done. But every day they replay the betrayal. They imagine arguments. They collect proof. They speak about the person to anyone who will listen. This is not freedom. This is attachment through fire. Resentment keeps the person living rent-free in the temple of your mind. Forgiveness does not mean you approve. It means you refuse to keep drinking poison to punish someone who may not even be thinking about you. Forgive with boundaries. Forgive with distance. Forgive with your eyes open. Forgiveness is not always reunion. Sometimes forgiveness is closing the door without slamming it, locking it without guilt, and walking toward the life that was waiting while you were busy bleeding. You do not need revenge. Revenge keeps you facing backward. The cleanest justice is becoming unreachable to the pattern that once controlled you. Detach from comparison. Nothing drains the soul faster than measuring your private journey against someone else's public display. You see their success, but not their sacrifice. You see their relationship, but not their conversations. You see their body, but not their discipline. You see their money, but not their debts, fears, compromises, or years of invisible effort. Comparison is theft. It steals gratitude from what you have and courage from what you could build. Your path requires your feet, not someone else's shadow. The bamboo does not envy the rose. The river does not envy the mountain. The moon does not envy the sun. Each one carries its own nature fully. You suffer when you abandon your nature to imitate another. Learn from others, yes. Be inspired, yes. But do not disappear into imitation. The world does not need a second version of someone else. It needs the disciplined, awakened, honest version of you. Detach from the past, but do not disrespect it. The past trained you. It showed you wounds, patterns, desires, weaknesses, and strengths. But a teacher is not a home. You can learn from a place without living there forever. Some people keep returning to old pain because it gives them a familiar emotional climate. They know how to be sad there. They know how to be angry there. Peace feels strange, so they sabotage it. Understand this. Healing may feel uncomfortable at first because your body is used to chaos. Calm can feel boring to a nervous system addicted to intensity. Do not mistake peace for emptiness. Peace is not empty. Peace is spacious. When your life becomes quieter, the mind may search for drama to feel alive. Do not feed it. Let quiet become normal. Let stable become attractive. Let simple become beautiful. The more you heal, the less you need emotional explosions to prove that something matters. Fireworks are exciting, but they disappear quickly. A steady flame can warm a home for years. Choose the steady flame. Detach from people pleasing. Every yes you give from fear becomes a no to your own soul. You cannot live a truthful life while constantly editing yourself for approval. People pleasing looks kind, but underneath it often hides a bargain. I will abandon myself so you will not abandon me. This is not kindness. This is a contract written by fear. Break the contract. Speak honestly. Move respectfully. Let disappointment happen. You will survive someone's disappointment. You may not survive a lifetime of betraying yourself. At first, boundaries will feel rude if you were trained to have none. Rest will feel lazy if you were praised only for exhaustion. Silence will feel dangerous if you grew up explaining yourself to stay safe. Choosing yourself will feel selfish if people benefited from your self-neglect. Do not use discomfort as proof that you are wrong. Growth often feels like guilt before it feels like freedom. Keep walking, detach from needing closure from people who are not honest enough to give it. Closure is not always a conversation. Sometimes closure is noticing the pattern. Sometimes closure is accepting the unanswered question. Sometimes closure is admitting that the apology you wanted may never come and your life still cannot stay paused. You think you need them to explain why they hurt you. But even if they explain, will it return your time? Will it restore your sleep? Will it undo the nights you spent doubting yourself? Do not make your healing dependent on the maturity of the person who wounded you. Equate your own closure through truth. Say, this happened. It hurt. I learned. I release the demand that the past become different. I release the fantasy that understanding everything will make me free. I choose the next step. This is closure. It may not be dramatic. It may not satisfy the ego, but it returns your power. Detach from fantasies that drain your present. The mind loves imaginary lives, imaginary success without discipline, imaginary love without vulnerability, imaginary revenge without consequence, imaginary transformation without discomfort. These dreams can become a soft prison. You think you are planning, but you are escaping. You think you are visualizing, but you are avoiding the first hard action. Detachment means leaving the theater of the mind and entering the training ground of reality. Do the push-up, write the page, make the call, clean the room, drink the water, go to sleep, apologize, apply, practice. Reality responds to action, not fantasy. Your peace needs structure. Do not expect a chaotic life to produce a calm mind. The mind is shaped by what you repeatedly expose it to. If you begin the morning with noise, comparison, messages, and panic, do not be surprised when your day feels invaded. Guard the first hour. Make it simple. Breathe, move, sit quietly. Read something that strengthens you. Plan the day before the world starts making requests. A person who does not command the morning often spends the day obeying other people's urgency. Guard the night as well. Do not take every conflict to bed. Do not feed your mind with arguments, screens, envy, and fear before sleep. Your sleep is not a trash bin for the day's emotional garbage. End the day with release. Ask, what am I still carrying that can wait until tomorrow? What did I learn? What can I put down? The mind needs rituals of closure. Without them, it chews the same bones in the dark. Detach from the idea that everything needs your opinion. A quiet person is not empty. A quiet person